In this session, we'll cover how to successfully complete the Certificate of Records Destruction RM-3 form. The RM-3 is used to document the proper destruction of public records in accordance with the Virginia Public Records Act, Chapter 42.1, Sections 76 through 91 of the Code of Virginia. The RM-3 form is available on the Library of Virginia's website. From the Records Management homepage, click the Forms link. The RM-3 section is found here, and we'll use the sample RM-3 for this demo. Be sure that the required information in boxes 1 through 8 is in a typed format. Please do not submit handwritten forms. In box 1, type the full name of the agency, locality, or regional entity. In box 2, type the name of the department, division, or section. In box 3, type the first and last name of the individual completing the form. In box 4, type the full mailing address of the agency. Remember to include office or suite numbers. In box 5A, type the telephone number of the person completing the form. Don't forget to include a direct extension number, if that's applicable. In box 5B, type the email address of the person completing the form. The information in boxes 6A through F describes the records to be destroyed. Enter only one record series per line and group all records of the same series with a contiguous date range into one entry. For example, if you are destroying 10 boxes of the same record series with no gaps in the date range, you will report them all on one line of the form. In box 6A, type the schedule number and the record's 6-digit series number. In box 6B, type the record series title. Please use the title from the records retention schedule, which may be different from what the records are called in your department. You're welcome to add additional details following the series title if needed. As a suggestion, you can also copy and paste the schedule and record series numbers, as well as the record series title from the electronic version of a retention and disposition schedule. In box 6C, type the date range of the records for that particular series from oldest to most recent. Please be specific. Do not use general dates such as prior to 1990 or post-2006. Include a beginning and ending date in this field, and using the month-year format is highly preferred. In box 6D, you can type the location of the records if it is known. This is the only field that is not required, but it can be helpful for locating records internally, especially on a large destruction project. In box 6E, type the volume of the material to be destroyed for each series. All paper records must be calculated and reported in cubic feet, and electronic records in a form of byte, megabyte, gigabyte, etc. For paper records, refer to the volume estimation table to help convert boxes, drawer, shelves, or even piles of records to cubic feet. There are also conversion references for microforms, as well as VHS and audio cassettes. In box 6F, type the destruction method. Non-confidential destruction methods include trash and recycle for paper records and delete for electronic records. Shred, burned, or pulped are the acceptable methods for the confidential destruction of paper records, and electronically shred, degaussed, or media destroyed for electronic records. If the schedule calls for confidential destruction, make sure an appropriate method is utilized and reported. Do not use words like confidential or destroy as a destruction method unless referring to the physical destruction of electronic media. In box 7, type the name of the individual responsible for the records or the work that the records support. In box 8, type the name of the records officer who is attesting that the form is accurate and complete. This must be an individual from your agency, department, or subdepartment who has submitted the Records Officer Designation and Responsibilities RM-25 form to the Library of Virginia. If the name of the individual or company representative who will affirm that the records have been destroyed is known, then type the name of the agency staff member or the name of the company and the representative in box 9. You cannot put just a company name in lieu of a printed name and signature. A note here: even if the destruction is performed by a third-party vendor, an agency representative can affirm that the records were destroyed via a signature and date on line 9. If it is appropriate to include any of the dates for lines 7 through 9 before printing the form, those should be typed as well. At this point, the form should be printed and the appropriate signatures applied to lines 7 and 8. Once the approving official has signed off that the records are ready for destruction, for example, that there are no fiscal or legal holes in place, and the records officer has affirmed that the form is complete and accurate, then the record should be destroyed, and the destruction affirmed by the appropriate signature and date on line 9. If the printed names on line 9 have to be handwritten, they must be done so very legibly. After the form has been completed, copy it and file the copy for 3 years pursuant to the applicable series on GS-19 for localities or GS-101 for state agencies. You will then mail the RM-3 or set of RM-3s to the address in the top left corner of the form, and please make it to the attention of Patrice Morgan. Here are some things to remember when reporting destruction using the RM-3. If multiple forms are being submitted at the same time, each form must contain all 3 required signatures. Remember to retain your agency's copy for 3 years. The original submitted to the Library of Virginia will be retained for 50 years. Do not make modifications to your RM-3 form. If you run out of room on one form, you need to start another. Do not attach anything to an RM-3 form. This includes, but is not limited to, vendors' destruction certificates and lists detailing the records. Also, when submitting multiple forms, please do not staple them together. Please do not allow Word forms to expand to a second page. You can enter double lines of information only on 4 rows in each form. Please print RM-3s only on one side of the paper. Double-sided forms cannot be accepted. RM-3 forms should be printed only on white paper. If you must print the RM-3 on colored paper, you cannot use dark shades. One final tip when starting out. You might consider completing boxes 1 through 5B and the names in 7 and 8, and saving that form as a template from which to begin each records destruction project. Again, you will find written instructions, the volume estimation table, the blank RM-3 form, and a completed sample on the Forms page of our website. Also available from the Records Management homepage, you will find additional information on records destruction in the Virginia Public Records Management Manual. This concludes our tutorial on successfully completing the Certificate of Records Destruction RM-3 form. If you have any questions, please contact your assigned records analyst.